સંધાન ઓલ ગુજરાત ઇન્ટિગ્રેટેડ ક્લાસરૂમ
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
ગુડ આફ્ટરનૂન ફ્રેન્ડ્સ. આજે આપણે અહીંયા મેથેમેટિક્સના લેક્ચર માટે ફરીથી ભેગા થયા છે અને હું સંજય પટેલ આપનું સ્વાગત કરું છું. આજના ટૉપિકમાં જે ખૂબ જ એડવાન્સ અને જે દરેક સાયન્સના દરેક ફિલ્ડમાં, મેડિકલ, એન્જિનિયરિંગ દરેક ફિલ્ડમાં જે સબ્જેક્ટનો ઉપયોગ થાય છે મેથેમેટિક્સના સબ્જેક્ટનો, એવા સબ્જેક્ટ ઓપરેશન રિસર્ચ, એના એક ખૂબ જ મૂળભૂત અને બેઝિક ટૉપિક વિશે હું વાત કરવાનો છું, જેનું નામ છે સિમ્પ્લેક્સ મેથડ. એ તમે સૌ જાણો છો, આપણે એનું લેક્ચર પણ અહીંયા ગોઠવેલું હતું અને એના કન્ટિન્યુએશનમાં આજે સિમ્પ્લેક્સ મેથડમાં જે સ્પેશિયલ કેસીસ આવે છે એના વિશે હું વાત કરીશ. સો ટુડે વી આર ગોઈંગ ટુ understand when the special cases in the simplex algorithm means when you are solving the given linear programming problem using simplex method, then there are some stages at which you are confused okay, what to do. Okay, so these are the special or exceptional cases I am going to discuss in your simplex method. Simplex method થી જ્યારે તમે કોઈ LPP સોલ્વ કરતા હોય અને વચ્ચે ક્યાંક અટવાઈ જઈએ અને ખબર પડે કે હવે આ કેસ આવી તો હવે શું કરું, તો એવા સ્પેશિયલ કેસીસના અગત્યના ઉદાહરણો, એક્ઝામ્પલ્સ હું આજે તમારી સમક્ષ રજૂ કરીશ. સૌપ્રથમ પહેલાં આપણે ઝડપથી રિવાઇઝ કરી લઈએ કે LPP એટલે શું છે, સિમ્પ્લેક્સ મેથડ એ શું છે અને એના રિલેટેડ થોડા બેઝિક કોન્સેપ્ટ્સ તમારા સ્ક્રીન પર જોઈ શકો છો કે વોટ ઇઝ ધ મેથેમેટિકલ ફોર્મ ઓફ સિમ્પ્લેક્સ મેથડ LPP. The mathematical form of LPP is given as follows: to optimize z is equal to fx subject to a into x less than or equal to अथवा is equal to or less than or equal to greater than or equal to b where x is greater than or equal to 0. તો આ એને મેથેમેટિકલ ફોર્મ કહે છે. કોઈ પણ લિનિયર પ્રોગ્રામિંગ પ્રોબ્લેમનું આ મેથેમેટિકલ ફોર્મ છે. We have studied the following concepts: slack variable, surplus variable and artificial variable. I will not revise because these variables are used to convert the given constraints less than or equal to or greater than or equal to in equality form, and artificial variables are used in some special cases. Okay, the next thing is we also have studied or know different types of solutions of a linear programming problem: feasible solution, optimum solution, basic solution and basic feasible solution. Feasible solution means a solution which satisfies or values of the variables x1, x2, x3, etc. which satisfies all the constraints together with the non-negativity condition. Optimum solution એટલે કે the feasible solution at which the given function becomes maximum or minimum according to our requirement is called optimum solution. And basic solution means we know that in a given LPP if there are n variables and m constraints, and if m is less than n, then we assign n minus m variables the values 0, and then the remaining system will become m cross m system, that is m variables and m equations, and the solution of this system is called a basic solution. The next is basic feasible solution, which is also feasible. Unbounded solution. Unbounded solution means the solution for which the value of the function keeps on increasing indefinitely or decreasing indefinitely, and such a solution is called unbounded solution. Now degenerate solution, a solution in which one or more basic variable is 0 is called a degenerate solution. Generally all basic variables are always greater than or equal to 0. If all are positive, then it is called non-degenerate solution. If one or more basic variable is 0, then it is called a degenerate solution. You can see on the screen. We have also studied the simplex method to solve LPP, and the two-phase method and the big M method are the special cases of, or you can say advanced simplex method, which are used for solving the LPP when the starting solution or the initial solution is infeasible. Means if the value of one or more basic variable is negative, then we use this two-phase or BGAM method, in which case we require artificial variable also. In order to solve a given linear programming problem, we convert it into minimization type standard form. That is, the objective function must be minimized and all the constraints must be equality type. એટલે જે પણ LPP સોલ્વ કરવાનો હોય એને પહેલાં આપણે હંમેશા, there are so many other techniques also, but in our lecture or in my method, I will always minimize the given function, and I will find the minimum value of the objective function, and also I will convert all the constraints into equality form. Okay. If we convert an LPP in minimization type standard form, then it will take the following form. You can see on your screen that minimize z is equal to f of x is equal to c1x1 plus c2x2 up to cnxn, subject to these following constraints. Let us understand the simplex method or simplex algorithm to solve an LPP through the following example. You can see on the screen. Just to go through the simplex method quickly, and then we shall discuss the special cases which arises in the simplex method. So our problem is to maximize z is equal to 4x1 plus 5x2. So here 4x1 plus 5x2 is our objective function f of x, and these are the constraints you can see on the screen. Our the constraints, you can see that they are all less than or equal to type. So to convert all of them into equality form, one needs to introduce a slack variable in the left hand side of these constraints. So if I introduce the slack variables, then you can see it will become this form. You can see in the tally top. When all these constraints are converted, yes, then first of all our problem was maximization, so I have converted into minimization. For that we have to multiply the function z by -1, so we will get this minus z is equal to minus 4x1 minus 5x2. Okay, so we will minimize this function. Minimum z star is equal to minus 4x1 minus 5x2 by introducing those extra variables. The extra variables I will call x3, x4, x5, x6. In the main problem we have only these two variables x1, x2, which are called decision variables, and x3, x4, x5, x6 are the slack variables or the extra variables. Then we have got all these equations. Now we will solve this standard form of the LPP using simplex method. So we will go through the simplex method quickly. You know how to write down all these values because we have already delivered the lecture on this simplex method. So you know how to write down all these values in the simplex table and how to solve the LPP. But still I will just explain the algorithm in that particular simplex table. Okay, you can see that here the first column is for basic variables. Here we write down the basic variables. As you know from that given equation, the basic variables are x3, x4, x5, x6. These are the values of the basic variable. The second column is for values of basic variables. Then we write the coefficient matrix. In that previous that example what you have seen on the screen, we have this coefficient matrix. Okay. Now what is simplex algorithm? And the objective function is always written in the last row. All these things are done. Okay. Our main aim is not to understand this. Our main aim is to understand special cases. But still, to revise this simplex method, I am taking this example. So let us see. The simplex algorithm says we observe the first step after writing the initial simplex table. We observe this row, which is the row of objective function. If all the numbers in this objective function row are positive or non-negative, greater than or equal to 0, then this current solution is optimum. Okay, but here you can see that there are two numbers -4 and -5 which are not positive. So the simplest algorithm says okay, you select the most negative cost coefficient. So most negative cost coefficient is -5. Most negative means smallest. The smallest is -5. That corresponding column is called key column. So this x2 column, the column of the variable x2 is called key column. Then we know okay, the variable corresponding to the most negative value -5, that is x2, is our incoming variable, or it will enter into the basis. This part is our basis. There are 4 basic variables at present: x3, x4, x5, x6. Okay, and the values are x3 equal to 2, x4 equal to 6, x5 equal to 5, x6 equal to 2. This is the starting solution or initial solution. All values are always non-negative. Now this is our key column. This minus 5 column is our key column. So to this x2 will go into the basis. So I have to keep x2 in one of this place. So one variable should be removed from the basis. So for that we find the ratios of the values of the basic variable divided by numbers in this key column. This is our key column. Okay. Now the first ratio, 2 divided by minus 2, that is minus 1 is written here. Okay. Then second ratio, 6 divided by 1, it is written 6 here. So this is the column for writing ratio. So for all the rows we will find the ratio like this and we get these values. Now what is the next step? We select the smallest of all positive ratios or non-negative ratios. Okay. Here minus 1 is the first ratio which should be ignored because it is not non-negative. Out of the remaining ratios, this is 6, this is 2.5, 5 by 2 means 2.5, this is 2. So 2 is the smallest positive ratio, and the corresponding variable in this row, that is x6, that will leave the basis. I told you that this x2 is incoming, that is it will enter into the basis, and x6 will leave the basis. So in the next step we will replace x6 by x2, and the number lying at the intersection of x6 and x2, that is this number 1, this is called our key element. This is key row and this is key column. The intersection of these two is called key cell, and the number in that is called key element. So 1 is our key element. If the key element is not 1, if it is different from 1, then we divide the whole row by that corresponding number. Suppose it is 3, then we divide the whole row by 3 and write in the next iteration. But here luckily we have got this 1. Okay. Then we make all numbers above and below this key element 0. Okay. Means this and this, including the row of objective function, all numbers should be made 0 in the next iteration. This can be done using simple elementary row operations. For example, if I want to make the first, this one, minus 2, 0, using this particular row, then what I will do? I will multiply this row by 2 and I will add it to minus 2. So 2 into 1 is 2 plus minus 2 will become 0, and that we do for all numbers in this, and hence we get the following step. So this is the step which is performed, and in this key column you can see that all numbers are above and below that key element. This was the key element, and all numbers above and below key element becomes 0. Okay. Now you observe, this is the next step. If all cost coefficients, means all numbers in this row of objective function are non-negative, then we stop, and that is our optimum solution. But here you can see that minus 9 is there, which is not non-negative. So still we have to perform one more iteration. So this is minus 9 column is called key column for the next step. So minus 9 is the key column, that is x1 variable. This x1 variable will enter into the basis, and we want to determine the outgoing variable, the variable leaving the basis. So we know how to do that. Again we find the ratio of the numbers in the values of basic variable columns divided by numbers in the key column. This is the key column. 6 upon minus 1, that is minus 6, 4 upon 3, 4 by 3, 1 upon 3, 1 by 3, and out of all these ratios we find the smallest one, that is 1 by 3, which is occurring in the x5 row. So this x5 will leave the basis in the next iteration. So in the next iteration x5 will be replaced by our this variable, that is x1. So x1 I will write here, and again you can see this is key row and this is key column. So the corresponding intersecting element is our key element, that is 3, and it has to be made 1. So we divide the whole row by 3 and make all numbers above and below this column 0, and we will get the next step like this. Okay. So our main purpose is to understand. You can see this becomes 1, all numbers above and below this become 0, and now you observe this last row, that is the row of objective function, in which all numbers are not non-negative still. The last number is -1. Okay, so this -1 is our new key column. It is in x6 column. So this x6 will be our incoming variable corresponding to this. This is key column, and to determine the outgoing variable, again we find the ratios of this and this. So we are getting these ratios, and you can see the 3/1. This is the smallest positive ratio. So x4 will leave the basis, and it will be replaced by x6 in the next step. And you will get the next thing as this table. In this table you can see that the cost coefficients are become non-negative. They have become non-negative, and therefore this present solution, the current solution, is optimum solution. What is the optimum solution here? How to read the optimum solution from the table? This first thing is our basis. So x3 equal to 7/3, x6 is equal to 3, x1 is equal to 7/3, x2 is equal to 4/3, and z star, actually we write z star is equal to -16 plus 0 into x1 plus 0 into x2 plus 0 into x3 plus 1 into x4 plus 2 into x5 plus 6 0 into x6, that we write, and find the value of z star. And here, by assigning the values of non-basic variable 0 and putting this value of basic variable, we will get z star is equal to -16. That is the minimum value of z star, but our problem was maximization. So we write maximize z. Actually z star was -z. So maximum of z is equal to minus of minimum of z star, that is minus of -16. So this is the final answer. 16 is our final answer for the optimum value of the given objective function.